Welcome back, everybody. You're here at Behind the Fame, and in the studio we have a special treat. Legendary film director, George Cukor. Wait till you see the films he directed. I guarantee they'll bring a smile to your face, and you'll be like, I remember that film, or I need to catch that film. And real quick, before we begin, you can find his work, a lot of his body of work on YouTube. So now we're going to dive into the life and career of film director George Cukor. Join me. George Cukor was an American film director and producer celebrated for sophisticated comedies and literary adaptations, and for eliciting acclaimed performances from actors in classics like Little Women and The Philadelphia Story, Gaslight, Born Yesterday, A Star is Born in 1954, and My Fair Lady. Working from early talkies into the 1980s, he became known as a women's director, a label he disliked, while actually directing more Best Actor Oscar-winning performances than any other director of his era. Early life and stage career. Cukor was born in 1899 on New York's Lower East Side to Hungarian Jewish parents, became obsessed with theater as a boy, and briefly attended City College of New York before leaving to work full-time on stage. He rose from assistant stage manager and stock company director in upstate New York to Broadway director, gaining attention with a stage version of The Great Gatsby, and building a repertory company whose actors later followed him to Hollywood. Hollywood breakthrough and studio years. Signed by Paramount in 1929, he began as a dialogue and test director on early talkies, then made his solo directing debut with Tarnished Lady in 1931, before moving to RKO under producer David O. Selznick. At RKO, he directed What Price Hollywood with Lowell Sherman, A Bill of Divorcement, introducing Katharine Hepburn, Our Betters, and the 1933 Little Women, establishing his reputation. When Selznick and the Irving Thalberg brought him to MGM, he directed prestige ensembles like Dinner at 8, David Copperfield, Romeo and Juliet, and Camille, and briefly worked in early production on Gone with the Wind and The Wizard of Oz, before being replaced on Gone with the Wind. Signature films and collaborations. In the late 1930s and 40s, Cukor delivered some of his best-known films: the all-female The Women, romantic comedy The Philadelphia Story, psychological thriller Gaslight, and later comedies and dramas with writers Garson Kanin and Ruth Gordon. We love Ruth Gordon, including A Double Life, Adam's Rib, Born Yesterday, The Marrying Kind, and It Should Have Happened to You. He forged key collaborations with stars such as Katharine Hepburn, Spencer Tracy, Judy Holliday, Ingrid Bergman, and Judy Garland, and directed Oscar-winning roles for James Stewart, The Philadelphia Story, Ronald Colman, A Double Life, Judy Holliday, Born Yesterday, and Rex Harrison, My Fair Lady. Later career in My Fair Lady. Cukor's Technicolor musical remake of A Star is Born in 1954 with Judy Garland was critically hailed but heavily cut by the studio. A mutilation he found painful. A longer restoration appeared in 1983. He alternated hits and misfires in the 1950s and 60s, including Les Girls, Wild is the Wind, Let's Make Love, and the troubled, unfinished Marilyn Monroe vehicle, Something's Gotta Give. Before triumphing with My Fair Lady in 1964, which won him the Academy Award and Golden Globe for Best Director. Later projects included Travels with My Aunt, the U.S.-Soviet co-production The Bluebird, TV films with Hepburn, Love Among the Ruins, The Corn is Green, and his final feature, Rich and Famous, in 1981. Personal life and social world. It was an open secret in Hollywood that Cukor was gay. He lived discreetly but hosted famous Sunday gatherings that became a social center for closeted industry figures, writers, and stars like Hepburn, Tracy, Garbo, Colbert, Dietrich, Olivier, Leigh, Garland, and Coward. He maintained a long father-son style relationship with younger partner George Towers, supported his education, and remained close to him for the rest of his life. His home, decorated by William Haynes, was a hub of Hollywood's gay subculture and a meeting place for major literary and film figures. Death and legacy. Cukor died of a heart attack in Los Angeles, California on January 24, 1983. He was only 83 and was buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. His net worth was reported about $2.38 million, and his reputation has grown posthumously, with retrospectives like the Film Society of Lincoln Center's The Discreet Charm of George Cukor, and National Film Registry recognition for Gaslight, helping cement his status as a master of actor-centered, elegantly crafted studio filmmaking. That was the wonderful life and career of director George Cukor. He made some wonderful films. The Philadelphia Story with Katharine Hepburn, James Stewart, and Cary Grant. And Cary Grant was a shoo-in. They all were magnificent in that film. He was a shoo-in for... Cary Grant had the lead role. And James Stewart swept up the Oscar for that one. He snagged it. And Cary Grant was upset because he wasn't nominated. And but he was very happy for his friend James Stewart. But the lead role went to Cary Grant, and the supporting role was James Stewart. But James Stewart was magnificent in that film. And so what other films do you remember that George Cukor filmed that you liked, that you remember? Give me your thoughts below on your opinions on director George Cukor. Let me know what you think of him as a film director. Right. Thank you for joining me here at Behind the Fame. That was the life and career of film director George Cukor. Leave your questions, comments, and feedback below. Thank you for all your support. Don't forget to click subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're celebrating all your favorite actors and celebrities of yesteryear. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you all in the next video.